Now, when Jonathan and I first, and all the organizers got together to first start putting together this event, we knew that one of the components we wanted to add was a youth component to the event. We knew how much time this event was going to take from our schedules, and we knew that it would be difficult to do it ourselves. So we actually got Catherine, who can't be with us here today. We got Marianne, she's right here, and Andy to work on the youth program downstairs that happened on Saturday. They had a morning session and an afternoon session. We really appreciate all the stuff that they've done over the course of this weekend to help us out. So can we get a big round of applause for Marianne, Andy, and Catherine? And without further ado, Marianne, take it away.
Yeah, I'll take it away. Thanks a lot for the introduction. So, our challenge was to create the youth program for the NASA Space F Challenge, and this is what these guys brought to us about maybe starting 2 months ago. And we really wanted to create a program that was interactive, creative, and engaging for youth. And so we went ahead and when I say we right now, I'm talking about Maker Kids. We're a nonprofit organization in Toronto. We have a maker space focused on youth. And at first we were like, oh, this could be amazing, and it could be huge if we can involve even more organizations. So we went to Hive. Hive is an umbrella group in Toronto that includes about 20 nonprofits that focus on empowering youth to be creators and innovators. And we took this to Hive. We are a member of Hive ourselves, and said, hey guys, who wants to be involved? And 6 organizations stepped up and said, yes, we want to do this. How do we do it? So then we went to the 50 challenges that were posted, and we're like, how can we rework these to make it happen in a youth program that's much shorter than 48 hours? We only get 2 or 3 hours to kind of run challenges focused on youth. Here were the organizations involved, and I'll mention them as I talk about the challenges we developed. So leading off, we had one challenge that was make an exoplanet alien. And this was led by Maker Kids, Center for Planetary Science and Exploration, and Autodesk. And here, kids were challenged to think about exoplanets, planets that are like Jupiter size, or gas planets, or ice planets, water planets, and what would aliens look like on that planet. And then they got to create them using an app developed by Autodesk called 123 Creature. They made 3D models, and then they could print their 3D alien on 3D printers. So this was a fantastic activity. They could then take their 3D printed alien, go to a green screen, take a photo of it, or themselves in space attire that's laid out at the back of the room right now, take a photo of themselves. That digital image was saved, could be brought to another station that was led by Girls Learning Code, where they could use a photo editing software called GIMP, so they could cut out their photo, put it on a background of an exoplanet surface that they developed themselves, and then make a postcard. They could print the postcard, take it to another station led by Story Planet, which is a nonprofit writing station or organization for youth, and they could write their postcard from their exoplanet alien or themselves describing their adventures. So those were 2 great stations. Andy's going to talk about a few others.
Sure. So another challenge that we looked at was the listening to the stars. So at that station, we actually set up some professional DJ setups. So we had kids remixing songs, putting space music, putting space sound effects into those, and making their own mixes. And they were really providing the soundtrack for the whole event, too. So, and they would record that mix when they're done, and we're uploading them to SoundCloud. We also had a music sequencing app that they could write their own songs with as well. We also had organization Fab Spaces had kids making CubeSats out of origami. So it's some of the same kind of challenges that a CubeSat designer faces. You can simulate in origami. How do you fit all those instruments and things into that little space? And Mozilla was also there with their popcorn video editing station to create some collaborative mashups as well. One thing that we had as a common theme throughout everything was open data and collaboration. All of the stations were contributing to a central file server where kids could actually share these digital things that they were creating at one station to another, and we're going to share them with the parents after the event too. Lots of kids were wondering, how do I get my mix? So we're sending that all out to them afterwards. And that leads us to this point, too, which is about empowering youth. This is really their creations. So we had really some ideas for that. So future plans, we're working with Open NASA as a template for future youth programs. You want to talk a bit about that?
Yeah, sure. And we're really excited because we're already featured on the NASA website for the Space Apps Challenge. The Toronto program here is really they're hopefully using it as a template for when they're designing their future youth programs for the Apps Challenge, which is fantastic. So we're on their website now. We're like their main thing. Woo-hoo. In terms of what can you guys do if you want to be involved in such endeavors, you can definitely volunteer in any of those Hive host organizations. If you want to volunteer with Maker Kids, we will definitely be involved in coordinating this kind of event in the future and next year. So join our volunteer mailing list, and you can hear more about such activities that we do in and around Toronto.